Alright, what's up? This is new series. This could be part one. What if issei was half demon, half angel type stuff. And yeah, let's start. We start off where issei is he's or no. We start off with I guess we can start off with issei. We start off with him as a teenager. He knows what he is, by the way. But he knows what he is. Let's say in this one too, he has anger issues. Like, he has them bad. Like, bad. Yeah. Okay, I'm explaining the pictures. Pretty sure I know what the bottom two is. But the one in the top right, that motherfucker look clean, so I had to take that out. I didn't take it, but I'm using it. For like his like full form type shit. And then I don't be seeing nobody ship issei with Kanako. So I was like, fuck it, I'ma do it type shit. You feel me? I ain't seen it, so I guess, gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, it was gonna be Akano. Cause she was the fallen angel in Devil. But I like, nah. But yeah, let's go and start. Okay, we start off where, okay, I want to clarify another thing, too. He do got the booster gear still, so this nigga have to be, nigga's finna be overpowered. Nigga half angel, half devil with a booster gear, yeah. Or I should say Drake, but it don't really matter. Anyways, Izuku, we start off, or, not damn, issei. We start off with issei, as a girl runs up to him and asks issei, your issei Hyodu, right? As he looks at her and says, yeah, what do you want? As she twirls around and puts on a blush, saying, will you be my boyfriend? Izuku says yes. Issei says yes. As he, and then pause real quick. He has like more power over Drake, I should say. Like way more control. Like way more type shit. Like 20 times, 30 times more control. Yeah, he can go into his berserker. Or his not berserker, Juggernaut drive. He can go for like full power type shit. And it don't take away his lifespan. Why? Gotta make him OP, man. Gotta make him OP. Yeah. But y'all will see. Y'all will see. It's not just gonna be like. Y'all go see. Anyways, Izuku's. I wanna. Okay, yeah, we can say that. As he says, fine. When do you wanna go out? Or he says, would you like? Do you wanna go on a date? Type shit. As she says, yes. Can we go tonight? Meet me at Kyoto or the school. Meet me at the school. She said. Izuku says, yeah. He says, okay, fine. And now we go to time skip. Izuku's walking to the school as he says, Drake, that was a fallen angel, wasn't it? I could sense her magic power. As he says, yes, he said, you're right. I sensed it too. I didn't say anything just because I thought you knew. And he says, yes, very well. As Drake, he comes in, Izuku comes in with like a casual clothes, white t-shirt, and like some khaki pants. I guess, I don't know. I really don't care. Izuku, he walks over as he waits for like 5 minutes, and he sees her. He sees this girl running towards him, and he says, hey, I never got your name. And she says, my name is right there. As Izuku says, Okay, thank you. Well, Rainier, as he grabs her hand, or as he holds his hand out, and she grabs his hand and they start walking, as he is just chatting about life, where he grew up. Now, obviously, the shit he tells her is false. It's not true. I'm just making up a lie. As he says, they're walking as they get to like the cafe. As they get to the cafe, they eat, sit down, talk. As they're eating, Izuku, he says, Drake, she's gonna try something, isn't she? And she says, yes. You can sense an intent from her. She doesn't seem normal. She seems like, as he says, yes, I know. As Izuku, damn, time skip to where they're by the fountain. As she runs forward, letting go of Issei's hand, saying Issei. As he says yes. He says yes. Or no, he doesn't say anything. She says, in honor of our first date, would you die for me? Type shit. And, Izuku, he looks at her as he says, what? As Issei says in his mind to Drake, yeah, I knew it. I fucking knew it, Drake. As, damn. Pause real quick. Izuku, he still did get the pocket thingy from Rias. So when she can teleport to him, he still got that. As Izuku, she says, would you die for me? As he says, die. I don't know. We just kind of met. As she says, I think you would die for me. As she, transforms and shit. And she puts that light spear out. And she shoots that motherfucker at him. As, Izuku, he lets that motherfucker hit him. As it's in his shoulder. As she says, what the hell? That should have obliterated you. As Izuku, he says, yeah, if I was human. As her eyes widen. See, look, that was good plot. Her eyes widen. As she says, but, he says, but, as he pulls out the light spear, saying, that doesn't affect me. And looking at her as 6 or 12, 16, as 16 wings, or 8 wings on each side, come out his back, glowing as white as ever, like so shiny, like, oh my god, blindness type shit. Animals just look beautiful. Like, have you ever seen Lucifer? How his wings look? Just imagine that. Like, 3 times better. Can't diss my nigga Lucifer like that. I would say 10, but, Lucifer, that nigga go hard. So, yeah. So, yeah. Izuku, he says, now, he says, now, I guess he tried to kill me. As he pulls the sacred gear thingy out. He activates Drake, and instead of it being like, because I don't say it's only like half his arm, like a quarter of his arm, kinda like half. For this nigga, it's like his whole arm. He has unlocked the 100% Drake, which nobody has ever done but him, because he's gonna be overpowered. He unlocked the 100% Drake, as it covers his whole arm and like a little bit of his shoulder. As Izuku says, what the? Now that feels better. As she looks at him. As she tries to fly away. And she says, no, you're not going anywhere. As he throws that motherfucking light spear, pinpoint accuracy. He pops her in the thigh. And her leg is gone. As she's still flying away, screaming in pain. Actually, no. She falls down, holding her leg as she tries to cast regeneration manga on it. As Izuku says, let's say he says a random spell and dispels the and he dispels he says a random spell to dispel the healing magic that she tried to cast. As Ria says, she looks at her period, she says, it's time. I'm pretty sure he should be dead. As they teleport. Now, Izuku isn't thinking. He isn't thinking. He knows, but let's say he just like, he isn't thinking as he normally is right now. His target is to kill this girl. To kill Rainier, I should say. And he forgot about the seal thing and his power seeping out. As Drake says, he says, issei, you need to end this quickly. As he says, no, I want to take my time with this. As a couple of seconds go by, as Ria's portal appears, as he says, damn it, issei, they're here. As she says, what do you mean? As he turns around, and Rainier is already dead, to clarify. He turns around, and she says, what the hell? And she says, I knew you guys are devils, but damn. As issei, he walked over to them, as they say, stop. Who are you? As Izuku says, I'm issei. As he says yes, my name is issei. And he says, as he throws her back the seal he gave her, saying, you used this to track me, didn't you? As she turned away and like saying like, yeah. Or she turns away saying yeah. As Izuku says, as you can see, I don't need your help. As, now they actually look at Izuku as they see 16 wings, 8 on each side, as they get shot and says, you're an angel. As Izuku, he looks at her, he says, yeah, you could say that. As Izuku says, Izuku says she could say that. As he says, now, what are you doing and what do you want? As, Rias, he says more devils should, Rias says devils, like more higher devils are going to be coming soon. We should go back to to my class. We should go back to that meeting room that they always go to. She says we should go back to that and talk. Oh. As Izuku says, now Drake is like, partner, she's right. As Izuku says, Drake says, even if it was a trap, they couldn't kill you. As he says, yes, you're right. As he says, fine. As she makes a magic circle, Izuku, he flashes over there, like with the glance of an eye. As he says, teleport us now. As, they get teleported. Izuku, I keep saying Izuku. Damn it. I'm sorry, I just be doing a lot of MHA. Okay, so he's in the period room as he says, okay, speak your mind, I have stuff to do. As he doesn't have shit to do. He's bored as fuck. Well, let's just keep to the plot. As he says, hurry, I have things to do. As she says, okay, first question, how are you an angel? As he says, not answering. Next question. As he looks at her and says, "That was a dumb question. The only way I could be born as an angel. The only way I could be an angel is to be born as an angel. That's a dumb question." As he says, "Now, hurry up and ask." As he points up, he lifts 3 fingers up and says, "You have 3 more questions, and they better be worth my time." As Rias looks at her as she, all her peerage is just staring at Issei. But one person catches his eye. As he walks over to and he still does have his wings out too. Actually, no, he put his wings away. He still has, he doesn't have his wings out. But he walks over to, Akano. As he says, "I can sense you're half fallen, aren't you?" As she's shocked. As, she doesn't say anything. As Ria says, "Who the hell are you? How'd you know that?" As, Izuku just looks at her and says, "I could kill all of you in this room at any second, any moment." As he looks at Rias as he says, "But you're from the red hair, the red circle. You're Rias Grimmery, daughter of Sergex Grimmery, or little sister of Sergex Grimmery." As he looks at her and says, "Am I right?" As she's just stunned and says, "How the hell?" And Shizuku says, "Now, you're supposed to be marrying Riser, aren't you?" As now everybody's shocked because, nigga, how does he know that? Again, giving him plot armor is the key. As they all get in there, they all act like they all get in like battle positions. And Shiryu says, "Who the hell are you?" And Shizuku says, "I don't want any problems. I'm just. As he says, "Wait. Get your 3 questions so I can leave." As she says, first she calms everybody down. As she says, "Who the hell are you?" As Izuku says, "I'm Issei." As her power rises and says, "You know exactly what I mean." As, Izuku says, "We need to clarify." As he drops 1 finger and says, "That was 1 question." As, he says, Rias, she says, "Fine." And she clarifies as much as she can to where, type shit. As, Izuku says, "No, that was a good question." And, Izuku, he says, "Well, I am Issei, let's just say," he says, "I am Issei, son of Archangel." I think Michael was a female in this one. I'm pretty sure. In the high school DxD, I'm not 100% sure, but I think she was. As she says, "I am son of Michael." As their eyes widen, knowing Michael because I'm still alive. As knowing she was strong as fuck and couldn't, Rias probably couldn't even touch her. I'm just estimating. I don't know. I'm just estimating. But yeah, as Rias, she could hold her own, but they couldn't, if it was a full out brawl, she would win, just because they have that holy element over the just because they have that holy element over the devils. Anyways, Izuku says, as she says, "Who's your father?" As she looks at him as he says, all your questions up. You don't need to know that. As he just walks out, as Konako jumps in front of him. Or no, Kiba, because I'm pretty sure he's the speed in the group. Kiba like zips in front of him as he pulls his swords out. As he says, answer the president now. As Izuku just looks down on him. Because Izuku's now. I ain't glazing at that, but I gotta get Izuku tall. I gotta do it, man. Izuku's smooth 6'4", 6'4". Yeah, 6'4". No one to give him the super. Have this nigga 7'8". Like, what the fuck? He's like 6'4". Yeah. And if I'm wondering, Konako is like 5'5" type shit. Yeah. And Kiba, we gotta say Kiba was like, fuck Kiba. We don't care about Kiba. We just know Izuku is towering him. As he says, as he looks down on him, as he pulls out his booster gear, as he says, I could kill you any second. As they all look at it, that red glow, that red dragon scale, the green amulet, as they all put the pieces together, as Konako says, that's the booster, the Dre booster gear shit. As he turns around and says, Kitty, you know your stuff. As he looks at Riz, as he drops his booster gear, and he says, Drake says, partner, you were being disrespectful. And she says, yes, I know. And, Izuku is an angel. Well, y'all know he's an angel and a devil, but they haven't figured that part out yet. Now, he said he has figured it out. He has been through the devil side before. But his angel, it's his angel side that he likes. I won't say likes, but he has to keep his emotions in check. Now, if you know where this is going, you already know where the emotion shit is going. If you know, you know. God damn it. Anyways, he says, as he goes over to the president and says, I do apologize for being rude to you, but I will not be answering that question. They hear like or no, they don't hear anything. As she's about to, he turns around and says, I'll be taking my leave. As a magic circle appears in front of him. As Surgex and Surgex's dad comes out. As they both stare at Izuku. As he says, as he says Surgex's dad's name, I don't know that name. As he says, it's been a long time, issei, hasn't it? As issei chuckles and says, yes, it has. As Surgex says, what are you doing on my sister's territory? As Grius says, you know each other? As she's cut off, saying shut up by her dad. As she's never been told that before. And knowing he's like serious, she knows something's up. He's like, I didn't come to try to cause any harm. As Izuku said, Surgex said, last time you came, you caused so much. Or he said, last time you came, harm wasn't even close to what you did. As Izuku, as he says, I told you that wasn't me. As he looks at him and says, you know that wasn't me. That was him. As he says, it's the same fucking side of you, just a different. As he sees everybody watching. As he says, never mind. And by the way, Surgex was saying that. He's saying Surgex is talking right now. As he says, never mind. As, Rhea says, Dad, what is he? He says, Dad, what is he? As Rhea's dad looks at her, as he looks at Izuku, as Izuku looks at him and says, I dare you. As he chuckles and says, I dare you. As Rhea's dad shudders with fear, knowing what he is capable of, knowing if they touch him, that they already know what's going to happen. A war is going to break. As, he says, like I thought, now be a good dog and get out of here. As, now, Sir Six wasn't taking this shit. As he already disrespected Rhea's dad, or their dad. So Sir Six wasn't taking it no more. He caught out his destruction magic as he tries to destroy Izuku. Issei. Do you think Issei was having that? Huh? Do you think Issei was having that? No. As 32 wings pop out, that's over-exaggerating. I said 16 last time. I wanna keep it 16. Yeah, I think 16 is like a good number because 8 on each side. As 16 wings pop out from his back, and she says, the wings, this thing is so strong, his wings block the attack. As half the building is destroyed, he says, you just started a war. As he looks at him, as he chuckles and says, man, this is going to be fun. As he says, but you're lucky, you're very lucky that I'm on this side, Sir Zex. As he looks at him, as he says, you're lucky I'm trying to keep my emotions in check. As he starts laughing, saying, you know what would have happened if I would have got angry. As he walks up towards him and says, next time I won't be so lenient with you. As he punches him in the stomach, making him fall out. As Izuku looks at the building destroyed, and she says, see, look what you've done. Talking to a passed out Sir Zex. Look what you've done, Sir Zex. You destroyed your little sister's sweet little building. As he pulls at his hand, he says some chant or some shit and restores the whole building. As they have never seen that type of magic before. They're all stunned and shocked. As Kanako goes up to him and says, I have a question. Rias goes up to him and says, I have a question for you. This one last final question, since you didn't answer my last one. As Izuku says, fine, just hurry it up. She didn't. He didn't answer the question. But, we're going to say she want to ask one more question type shit. So she says, I have one more question. As Izuku points up their fingers and says, you use all your 3 wishes. As he's about to teleport, as she says, wait. As he turns around and says, what? As he says, as she doesn't know what to say. So she says, stay the night here so we can talk over everything. As Izuku looks at her and says, talk over what? There's nothing to talk about. As Izuku says, maybe you need someone to comfort you or talk to you. As they say, as he looks at Kanako, as Rias points to Kanako and says, she might be strong and bold, but she's a good comfort machine. As Izuku looks at Kanako and says, I don't need anyone to comfort me, goddammit. I can deal with my own problems. As Kanako says, I am a pretty good comfort machine. As, and she says, I am a pretty good comfort machine. And I also have sealed lips. Meaning she don't talk a lot. Like, she don't share secrets type shit. Fuck. I'm at the end of this video quickly. Like, what's happening? Anyways, 9:50. Alright. Anyways, Izuku says, fine, I'll stay this one little day for you, princess. And she looks at Rias, and she doesn't know what to do because she didn't think he'd accept. As she says, okay, you'll be and she says, no, I'll be staying with the little kitty cat. As Kanako blushes and says, don't call me that. My name is Kanako. As Ria says, yes, her name is Kanako. I don't know her last name. But he says, while I'm here, I guess you should introduce her to your peerage. As you know, they introduce each other. And Izuku is, they introduce each other. And, you know, I'm not going to end the video here. I'm going to say a little bit more, but I'm going to end the video in a little bit. Izuku says, as they introduce each other in the period, they're in the period room, where the meeting room thing. As he says, as Riz is about to say something, and she says, no, I don't have. As no, fuck that, bunk that. Riz is about to say something as Izuku stands up and says, Kanako, come on, let's go to your room. As she blushes and says, okay. As she looks at Riz with the glare, like, why'd you have to put this all on me? Like, damn. And, yeah. As they get to her room, Izuku, she says, don't try anything funny. And she says, and don't go snooping in my dressers. As Izuku looks at her and says, honestly, if I wanted to snoop in your dressers, I could. You couldn't stop me. And she blushes and says, pervert. As Izuku just, slight blush goes on his face and says, I'm not a pervert, I'm just saying. As he says, now, they said you were a good comfort machine. As she says, yeah, I am. As she sits on her bed and she motions for Izuku to come sit down. As he teleports and sits down. Oh yeah, and another thing, Izuku doesn't need a magic circle to teleport. Izuku, teleport. Izuku teleports to the spot where Kanako motions him to sit down. As she says, now talk. As Issei sighs and says, fine. And that's what I'm going to be ending this video off. Now, to you whole ass niggas who thought I wouldn't go post again, nigga, I'm back. I told y'all niggas I was back, fam. I'm really back this time. I'm not going to be leaving no more. I can't stand to watch all these fucking robots talking. Like, every time I go watch What If Naruto was something or Izuku was something, all I find is fucking robots. The only it's like one person. And I think it's like Anime. His name is like Anime X or some shit. I don't know. It's like two people. It's like what if the what if the Celestials and like one more other person. I think it's like, his name is like Anime X or Anime Outlet. Yeah, him. I think. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah. It's like only like two or three people that's actually like still speaking, and I can't stand to watch. Like, I couldn't stand for it to be fucking robots on here talking. I just couldn't. Now some of the hosts was good. I'm not gonna lie, but it was like out of every 10 or every 10 that I watched, I found something good. And I be listening to What Ifs like every day of the day. So. Well, yeah, that's about it. I'll catch y'all in another video, man. probably drop part 2 like later on today, cause like I'm bored as fuck. I ain't got shit else to do. I'll probably drop part 2 of both of the parts. The what if Izuku was the anti-hero, and what if this part 2. I'm still thinking about it. I'm gonna name it. What if he was a half angel, half devil? I'm gonna look up the name for it, because I know it's a name for it. I forgot. I seen it a while ago when I was watching what it was. Like that nigga, he inspired me to do it. But guess what? He's a fucking robot. Or was he? Yeah, he was a fucking robot. But yeah, I'll catch y'all in another video.